Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to update the username and email using our front end. So let's get started. So before I get started, I have already shown you how to do the normal image update and the drag and drop image update using our drag and drop that we create ourselves. So if you want to go check those out, you can go and do that. That video is available on the channel. So now let's see how to update the username and email. And the email part is a little bit tricky, so pay attention to that one. Okay, so let's get started. So the username is simple, so I'll just quickly show you. You should know how to create a input field, and the name and placeholder and on change. You should know how to do all of those things. Okay, so on change, this is going to be the function that gets triggered whenever the input field updates. So handle input will basically just get the name and value from this, and it will update our state, and our state is this. Okay, so it will update the username property. By default it will be empty, so that is the basic setup for this. So now I'm going to show you how to use the use user hook that comes from Clerk. Okay, and this is available in both NextJS and React Clerk. Okay, so the use user hook gives us is loaded and user. It also gives us a third thing, which just in case you are wondering what that is, let me just show you. It is signed in, just to check if the user is signed in or not. Okay, so if you're wondering where I'm using the is loaded, I'm using the is loaded to return nothing until everything from Clerk gets loaded first. Okay, so using the user, I'm going to first get the username and the email. Okay, so here in the placeholder, I will just show you how to put that. So user dot username for the username and display it, and for the email it is user dot primary email address. Okay, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to show you this is the username and this is the email that we have for this user. Okay, so right now whenever I'm going to click the update button, whatever I end up adding into this and adding into this email, I want to update that. So first let me show you with the username how to do that. So whenever I click the update button, whenever I click this update button, it's going to trigger a form submit, because this is a form. Okay, and on submit will be the event that gets triggered, and I want to run this function whenever a submit happens. So when the submit happens, I'm preventing the form from submitting, and I'm checking if my input field value has something in it or not, and based on that run a function. So I'm going to check if input values dot username dot length is greater than 0, then I want to do something. It is the exact same thing for the email. Okay, and this is basically this. Okay, so you should know how a use state works. So if it is not empty, if my username is not empty, what I want to do is user dot update and username, and this is going to take in the username that is available in my state. Okay, so that is how you will update the username, but the email one is a little bit tricky, and I'll show you why that is later. But first let's submit a username. Right now you can see this is the username, and that is the same one here. So I'll just change it to demo user. Okay, and click update. Did I save this? Oh, I forgot to save this. Let me just save this first. And now if I click update, yeah, it changed it now. It was reloading everything when I saved the application. That's why it didn't work. Okay, so that is how you do the username update. Now let's go to the email. Okay, so we've seen how to do the username. Now let's look at the email, and this is a little bit tricky, so pay attention. But before we move on, I would like to ask all of you to like and subscribe, because these videos take a lot of effort, and even one subscribe goes a long way. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So the email, the reason why I say this is tricky is because you not only have to submit the email, you also need to verify it. So let me just show you what I mean. So first let's do a user dot, and first we need to create the email. So create email address, okay? And what we need to pass in is the email, okay? And so this is in our input values, the email we want to submit, the email value we want to submit. So after we have created the email, what we're going to do is a dot then, and our dot then is going to give us a response, okay? And this response is going to have email information related to our email, okay? So response dot, and we're going to prepare the verification process here, okay? So prepare verification, and this is going to take in a strategy. So there are two strategies. One strategy is the email code, and the other one is email link. I'm going to use email code. The email link basically works like sending a link to your email and then using that to verify your user's email. But I'm going to use the email code because that basically works the same way, which is it sends a code to your email, which then you just need to enter on the website. So this is a strategy I'm going to use. Then dot then, and a dot catch as well. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a response dot destroy, okay? And what this does is it deletes the email that is in our response, okay? And the reason why you would want to do this is if some kind of error did occur, you don't want this email to just stay in there. So that's why I'm using this to delete the email. So here, what I'm going to do is do a response dot attempt verification. So after you have prepared the verification, you need to attempt to verify it. You need to attempt to verify the email account. So I'm going to use code. Okay, actually, I'm just going to name it code here. So constant code is equal to, and I'm going to use a prompt. I'm going to use a prompt, and inside of this, I can add a message, which is going to be enter verification code. And on a new line, I'm going to add in note, a code has been sent to your email, okay? So whatever I end up adding in this prompt, this will be put into this variable, and I can just then add it here, okay? And I'm going to use the same thing here as well, and I'll also add a dot then, just for the sake of seeing a message, to console log a message, and that is going to be email verified, okay? So just to go over this again, this will send a email with a code. This will give you a prompt to enter that code. Then this will take in the code, okay? And then it'll just give me a message if the email got verified or not. And if it did not, then I just want to remove that, okay? So I'm going to save this, wait for it to refresh. So right now you can see I only have one email, and I'm going to use a test email for this. If you use a real email, then that email will receive a verification code, okay? So I'm going to click update. Okay, there was an internal error on our servers. We've been notified and are working on to fix it. Okay, so I only ended up adding this to each of the then and catch, and it ended up fixing it. So that was the only problem. Okay, so I'm just gonna send a request to show you. first let me show you I don't have any other emails, so let me clear that up. So I'm gonna send the request and I'll add 424242 because this is a test email, and as you can see it says email verified, and as you can see it does not say unverified. So I'm going to remove this because I want to make it the primary. So to make this the primary, what you can do is inside of this part you can add response, which is this, by the way. So response dot id, okay, and you're going to add in user dot date, and inside of this it's going to be primary email address ID, and just add the response ID into this, which is the email's ID, okay, and save this. So again, nothing here. This one is the primary right now, and I'll say update. And as you can see, the new email is now the primary, old one is this. So if you want to remove the previous emails, what you can do is first let me make this the primary and remove this, and now you can add in user dot email addresses, okay, and dot for each dot destroy, okay. For each of these I want to destroy this, but the problem is that this will destroy all of them. But what we want to do is that if email is not equal to dot id, okay, email's id is not equal to the response dot id, okay, if this is the case, then I want to destroy the email, otherwise keep the email. So it will not destroy the email that has the ID of the email in this, okay, otherwise it will destroy any other emails. So I'm gonna save this. And as you can see, I only have one email, so let me just update this. As you can see, it deleted every other email other than the one that we just added, okay. So this is how you end up adding the email and the username and deleting all of the other emails that we might not have any use for. Or if you do want to keep the other emails, you can just not add the last part that I ended up adding. But all of these videos, guys, take a lot of time and effort to make. So like the video and subscribe to the channel. It ends up going a long way. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.